Now don't get me wrong, I absolutely love collecting physical media. But man, there are a bunch of things that can irritate the absolute out of me. And here's a list of 28 things that sometimes I just find downright annoying. The 4K only releases that don't include a Blu-ray. Have we been spoiled in the past where the Blu-rays used to come with a DVD and sometimes even a digital copy? Why are we now at a point that the 4K release only includes the 4K disc? Personally, I've only got one 4K player in the house. I kind of want the options to use another format in another room. Why have they even removed the option of being able to have a multi-format release? That moment, when you're looking for a movie and it's gone out to print. Why are there not even any print-on-demand options for whatever title you want? Some of the titles I can't even get to stream digitally, and it leaves you just with one option, the pre-owned marketplace. And it's a place where scalpers know exactly what they have. Their ridiculous prices based on the scarcity of the title rather than the movie itself. eBay, a place where if it's rare, you can turn a turd into gold. And then, of course, there's always that option of the less than legal route. But we're collectors. We want the stuff for our shelves. Pick a style. You collect a franchise. You put it all together in your collection. And then the OCD hits. You realise you've been collecting things that are different shapes and different sizes and different styles for the same franchise. And the spine art, it just doesn't match. And some of them, they just look kind of out of place. I really have no idea why they're changing styles or anything on this one. They had one job. Gone are the days of supermarkets stocking physical media. I find it frustrating that now, when shopping in the supermarket with my family, I can't have 5 minutes peace to browse the latest offers and releases in store. It just stops it being possible to shop for physical media anywhere locally to me anymore. Streaming platforms, sometimes, not very often though, they put out or have the occasional gem land on their service. And every now and again, you find the movie strong enough that you'd like to own it or have it on your shelf. Nope. These services lock everything down behind their paywall. It's their exclusive content, and they make it next to impossible to actually have in your personal collection. Well, that's unless you know a dodgy Dave who can provide you with a physical copy of the thing, completely off the books. We all have those favourite movies that we'll always look at upgrading or just want nicer editions of, but some of those titles, they just never seem to come. You can be sat waiting for a new release of one of your favourites that you have on DVD to make its way to a HD format. Things like Deadly Pursuit, Chill Factor, When a Stranger Calls. Although I think that's actually available on Blu-ray as part of a multipack from the US. But those upgrades, they never seem to arrive. And instead, we get upgrades of things that you just don't think are worth it. Or at least not on your list of wants. Where have they all gone? I miss them. And it now frustrates the hell out of me that I can't just wander into my local town to have a browse or pick up a release. I need to plan out a journey in my car, pay for parking in a bigger town, just to be able to visit a store that stocks physical media. It really sucks how many stores that we've lost. You've got the latest and best edition of a movie. Then, 2 months later, no, you haven't. There's that other must-own edition, that new steelbook, that limited edition, that anniversary edition. Or there's suddenly a new cut of the movie. We're all sucking into it time after time. And sometimes we stack our shelves full of the same movie, just because each edition is special in its own way. Double dipping for the extras, for the art, for the package, or just for the love and frustration of it. Those titles that you grab on release, they're Blu-ray only, but you're okay with that. Right up until you see that that Blu-ray only edition is available 4K digitally. And then, just a couple of months later, there's a pre-order up for the 4K edition of a movie that you previously thought was going to be Blu-ray only. And perhaps you've already bought the 4K digitally in the meantime as well. Why? Why do they do these timed releases? It's crazy. And it's not always about it being a timed release. It's that they're very cloak and dagger about telling you if there's going to be a 4K on the way. Just let us know. Ordering online is increasingly becoming the best way to get out physical media. But how irritating is it when the retailers just can't package these things safely? They don't even offer up options to pay extra for better packaging. You have bumps on those limited editions, you have dents in your steel books, and then just manhandled or crushed cases. How does this happen? Why does this happen? Limited editions, out-of-print titles and steelbooks, they are ripe for the picking for eBay scalpers. As soon as the words limited come into play, the scalpers are there, waiting in the wings. They help the titles sell out, and then they throw the listings up on eBay at some eye-watering prices. There's only one way we can stop this from happening, and that's to stop buying from them. But what sort of collector can resist the fear of missing out and not owning that special title? Although it's not as much of a problem with 4K, we're still at the mercy of region-locked content. And I really don't know why. I've got a multi-region player, so it doesn't bother me as much personally. But why are a lot of us still at the mercy of region-locked content? It's just really annoying for many of us that have to miss out on great titles from overseas, like this. Those re-releases with different cover art or collections of all new slipcovers that are there to tempt us to buy a title again, despite them being exactly the same disc. Each new year we seem to get a range of new slipcovers that house the same old movies that they just can't seem to shift anymore. You know the limited edition slips, the glow-in-the-dark ones for Halloween, the special Christmas editions, all the Deadpool ones. Whatever the reason, they just bang a new slipcover on it and charge a premium. They want to hook us crazy collectors that will sometimes collect the variants for the movies that we already own, because they know that some of them, they're our favourite movies. Yeah, we all know the crappy eco cases. They're weaker than newborn kittens. They look cheap, they feel cheap, and generally, they're just a little bit shit. Special features not on the 4K disc. It's annoying. And then the extra disc, it's got the features on a Blu-ray. Come on, man. I bought a 4K. At least plonk those extras on a 4K disc too. Stop being cheap. You're already charging a premium for the 4K edition and not including a normal Blu-ray. Why? Why don't you include the IMAX footage? It's an option on streaming. Surely the branching technology on the disc can cope with the choice of the format of the movie that we want to watch. Is it just the space on the disc, or is it something else? Why? Why don't we have the option still? Come on, just stop it. There's absolutely no need for some of these things to sit on steelbook or limited edition only for months on end. When did we come to a point that for distributors, these limited things are the priority? Ah, right, they want to milk as collectors. Come on, at least give us the option for a standard. You've paid the premium, you've got the latest 4K edition of a movie that you love. You get the disc out, you plonk it in your machine, and the picture sucks. You read online about all the issues with the transfer, the waxy looking actors, and it's £25 gone. And it's gone on the latest edition, which generally is nothing but a disappointment. Why can't they get it right? The latest limited edition, it's in your hands. You've had it for a matter of hours. Then you read about the issues. You realise that already you're going to need a replacement disc, which then is likely going to take over 4 weeks to get resolved. It sucks. Why is quality control such an issue for some labels? You want a limited edition? Well, it's going to cost you. Gone are the days where a limited edition is going to cost you just a few quid more. We now seem to be at a stage of price doubling or more. And what do you get? Well, usually it's not extra discs. It's a load of postcards, it's a folded poster, maybe it's in a special tin case, which is obviously going to need protecting against any scratches or damage. The cost of some of these editions is just getting crazy. And in my eyes, the 4K prices are well above where they should be. Production costs for the 4K, they don't particularly add up to the price difference that we're seeing between Blu-ray and 4K in store. They just seem to be keeping the prices artificially high. Oh, chasing a release from a particular retailer. It's an absolute pain in the butthole. Some retailers I actively try to avoid, but sometimes you're forced to use them if they have a particular exclusive that you want. And then that's if you have access to that retailer in your territory. Sometimes if it's a regional exclusive, you're going to have trouble trying to import that thing. It's frustrating. When did they get lazy with the extra features? If you're not going in for a boutique release, then efforts with the on-disc extra features, they seem to be getting less and less. Gone are the days of the feature-length documentaries that you used to find on some of the discs. Instead, they just seem a little bit rushed. And now we're tending to see a lot of the electronic press kit fluff that tend to give no real insight into the movie or the process of making it. Really, we don't need these promo pieces. We've already bought the movie. Give us some insight on making the thing instead, please. Man, I never thought I'd crave a standard Amaray case, but some releases, they come in some really weirdly designed packages. It bothers me. Just a little bit. Trying to force that disc out from a cardboard sleeve. It's just painful. I've got the fear of scratching the disc running through my head, or even the possibility of cracking or breaking the disc somehow. And it happens each and every time, because these things are generally tighter than my Lycra cycling shorts. I don't have Lycra cycling shorts. Are they getting too lazy to use different poster designs? Why? Why use the same artwork on the slipcover and the actual case? Come on guys, give us something a little more unique. The gap for this has become huge. Studios chasing that monetary return as quickly as possible. Physical production, it just can't seem to keep up. But how frustrating is it when you're waiting for a release, but the digital, it's right there. But physical collectors, you've got to wait another 3 months or more to get your mitts on it. Pre-COVID, that window, it was a couple of weeks. Now, it's months and months. So if I'm in a mad rush to see something, I buy the digital. Then if I want the physical for the collection, I've got to pay out again for the thing. At least come up with some multi-buy discount or something. Us physical collectors, we're missing out. Slipcovers, do I like them or not? Sometimes the releases have them, sometimes they don't. But if you like them, you need to chase them down to the ends of the earth to make sure your release that you picked up has one. I just wish the studios would decide what they're doing with these things. Sometimes they have them, sometimes they don't. You just can't predict what you will get through. I've had things come through the post that should have had a slipcover but didn't, and it just gets frustrating. The competition across social media is fierce. To have that limited title, to be one of the first. It's almost like a high-cost show and tell, having to have that new thing to talk about. Just to feel part of the group and part of the community. There's a certain pressure that comes along with these groups to keep up with the latest flavour of the week. It's just impossible to keep up with the Joneses, especially when there's so many varieties of the Joneses across the whole of your social feed. It's quite an annoying and frustrating environment, yet I can't stay away from it. And the biggie, the one thing that perhaps feeds a lot of the previous little niggles and issues that I've gone through. Physical media, fear of missing out. You know what it is, and it's irritating, isn't it? So, that's my list of 28 things. If you've got anything else that you'd like to add to the list, drop a comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, click a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you for watching.